Greetings, loved ones. Did you know that 38% of acquaintance rape victims are 14 to 17 years old? The experience of being raped by someone you thought you could trust can bring up a wide range of complicated emotions, including guilt, self-doubt, and worries that the rape was somehow your fault. Working through these feelings is an important part of the healing process and will help you move on with your life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others. So let's talk about some common concerns and some misconceptions about acquaintance rape and common sense answers you can focus on to deal with some of these mistaken beliefs. Let's talk about making sense of your reactions. After a sexual assault, you may blame yourself. For example, wonder if you're flirting too much or wearing clothes that were too sexy. The truth is, it is not your fault. No matter how you acted or what you wore, it is not your fault. After a sexual assault, you might think or worry that it's your fault for accepting a drink that was drugged. The truth is, again, it is not your fault. You did not know the drug was drank. After a sexual assault, you may worry that you will get in trouble with the police if you were drinking because you are a minor. The truth is, the police are only concerned with your health and safety. After a sexual assault, you may feel ashamed, angry, sad, different, lonely, anxious, betrayed, depressed, or as if you will never be able to trust anyone again. And the truth is, all of these feelings are normal, and the bad feelings will not last forever. Talking to a counselor can help you work through all of these feelings. After a sexual assault, you may feel guilty or confused because you know your attacker. And the truth is, most sexual assaults are committed by someone the victim knew. And again, I'm going to say, it was not your fault and you could not predict this. After a sexual assault, you may have nightmares about the assault or have your mind filled with images of the assault, even when you are trying not to think about it. The truth is, this is normal too, and it will not last forever. Counseling can help you learn to deal with these images. After a sexual assault, you may worry about how your friends will react if they find out, like, will they believe you or will they take sides? And here is the truth. Your real friends will be supportive and will not take sides. Besides, your well-being is more important than what other people think. After a sexual assault, you may worry about how your family will react if they find out. The truth is, this might be hard for them to accept at first, but your family loves you and they will be supported. Again, counseling can help your family as well as you. After a sexual assault, you may think that nobody understands how you feel and that you're all alone. The truth is, a lot of teens and women have gone through this, and you have the support of people who care about you. So now I want to discuss consent. You may have heard that consent is a very important part of every healthy relationship, but what exactly is consent? Consent is a voluntary agreement between two people. And when it comes to sex, consent is a voluntary agreement between two sober people who have actively and enthusiastically agreed to something, including sex. It is important to understand that if you and your partner consent to have sex together today, that does not mean that you have agreed to have sex together again in the future. Any person has the right to say no at any point during sex or leading up to sex, regardless of whether they are single, in a relationship, or married. So yes means yes. You may have heard of the yes means yes law in California. This law makes clear that on college campuses and soon high school campuses, affirmative consent must be given by both parties before having sex. Affirmative consent is defined as an affirmative, conscious, and voluntary agreement to engage in sexual activity every step of the way. In other words, silence or a lack of saying no to sexual activity cannot be considered consent. Regardless of whether you're a college student, a high school student, or not in school at all, yes means yes still applies, and no means no. Both parties must give an enthusiastic yes before engaging in sex with each other. Remember, either partner can change their mind at any time. If you have been forced to have sex against your wishes, find help near you. So let's talk about consent and the mixture of alcohol and drugs. A person who is under the influence of alcohol or drugs cannot legally give consent. This is for good reason, because your thinking and your communication skills are not what they would normally be when you are drunk or high. Sometimes you might be completely out of control of your actions. You may forget to wear a condom, use a condom incorrectly, or put you and your partner's health at risk in some other way. Unfortunately, some aggressors of sexual assault use alcohol and or drugs as an excuse for their own violent actions. If you think you may have been assaulted while under the influence, find help near you as soon as possible. If you think you may be abusing drugs or alcohol, also find help. According to the CDC, over half of all children in the world, that's 1 billion children ages 2 to 17, experience violence every year. The question is not if you will encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. Micah 6:8 says, He showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. You are called. We are all called to be champions for justice. If you are suffering violence, I want you to know that there is a way out. It is not your fault. Abuse is not love. And most of all, I want you to know you are not alone. If you are suffering violence, reach out to someone today. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. If you know of a child or other person suffering violence, tell the authorities. In our next episode, we will talk about information for parents regarding teen sexual assault. Until then, God bless you.